I think the notion of saving humans can be a bit dated when we think about it as being politicians or economists or businessmen talking to each other, far away from us at some conference center or at some diplomatic summit. Saving humans has to be a day-to-day process now that involves all of us, that involves not nations, but communities that are working together, not just at an immediate point of crisis, but to provide the cooperation day-to-day that will prevent crisis.
What I wonder about saving humans is whether we are always casting the question in the right way. Because when we talk about human decision-making in order to save humans, I can see that there are lots of very interesting social, ethical, political, and technological dilemmas involved in that. But I also wonder whether we're missing the fact that it might not be down to us whether humanity is saved or not, because the planet shows every sign of being completely indifferent to humanity as a species and is quite prepared to balance itself in a way that is not conducive to human society.
Well, Saving Humans as an initiative here is about teasing out the complexities of what seems to be quite a simple set of problems, saving human lives, something that we all would subscribe to, but yet which is fiendishly complex in the end and requires lots of input from lots of different kinds of people. Many interventions that were launched, say in the late Victorian period, early 20th century, at the zenith of European imperialism, were motivated by the best intentions but didn't always have very humanitarian results in the end, whether that be attempts to eradicate diseases in certain ways, whether that be attempts to responses to natural catastrophes. To an extent, one can see many of the risks involved in intervention, some of particularly, I guess, the political and cultural and ethical risks in intervening in places that people don't understand very well. We can learn many lessons in this respect from the history of the colonial era.
I'm interested in trying to think about abstract philosophical issues relating to how we can improve people's health, how we can save humans, but I'm particularly interested in trying to think about practical ways to achieve that. So how much are our choices free? How much do we choose in relation to smoking or eating or drinking? So if I choose to spend time with friends who are all members of a five-a-side football team, that's very different from choosing to spend time with a group of hard drinkers. It's far more likely that I become a hard drinker if my friends are hard drinkers. Thinking about when to intervene in these kinds of contexts is very controversial.
I think with the Institute of Advanced Studies, we can sort of park our discipline at the door, because it's not about an individual discipline. It's about bringing together something which is bigger, which is greater. That notion of interaction, that notion of taking an idea and not, hiding it away to be published years later, but actually to be developed here, now, and for a greater good which goes far beyond the university.